Hello and welcome to Politics Today. I'm Sulaiman Aled. It's a new year and so much has been happening in the polity. Today at a press briefing held in Lagos, the Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose is accusing the All Progressives Congress of plans to remove him from office before his tenure expires in October of 2018. Now, according to Mr. Fayose, some chieftains of the ruling APC have compromised a section of the judiciary and are working towards filing a fresh suit against him over the June 2014 Ekiti elections already dismissed by the Supreme Court. He says this plot follows his refusal to defect to the APC and remain silent as the leading opposition voice in the country.
I allege that certain APC chieftains were again making moves to manipulate and compromise a section of the judiciary, particularly some judges, to get through the back door what they failed severally to achieve against me through the ballot box as well as in open court, even in matters already decided by the Supreme Court. A concocted fresh suit is being rehearsed and wished to be filed against me any moment from now on the same old allegation in election that has come and gone, trashed by the tribunal and up to the Supreme Court in my favor. These plotters plan to procure the services of a compromised and a malleable judge to get self-serving Jankara and kangaroo judgments with the intention of having the Supreme Court reverse itself on the June 2014 Ekiti election.
Well, just before this statement, he did mention names. I'll get that to you a bit later on the program. But when contacted, some of those names he did mention, well, have been reacting to all of that, but we'll need to get to hear Governor Fayose before we bring the reaction of those he did mention. But very quickly, let's see what we have for the day. Today we'll be looking at the budget that has been presented before the National Assembly for 2017 and see what exactly is happening within the oil market and look at the benchmark for oil and see how much that can help shore up the budget for the year. But again, the youth have been speaking. I recall that this week we started off our discussion with some leaders, youth leaders, talking about how much of involvement in our politics they will want to see the youth engage in 2017, and of course see how best the government can engage more of the youth. We're now being joined from our Abuja studios this evening by Tochi Okafor. He's a youth coach and an author. He's also the executive director, Inspire Youth Africa. Good evening and thanks for joining us. Many Nigerians have been speaking about what exactly the government should be doing about for the year 2017. Do you think the youth have been greatly utilized in terms of governance and the affairs of running things in the country so far?
Thank you so much, Suleiman. I don't think that youth, given the demographic dividend that this country has when it comes to youth, that Nigeria has actually tapped up to 1% of youth potential in this country in all diverse manner you can think of. So I totally say that so far it's quite unfortunate that young people are just roaming the street with no direction. Not to say that there are not some of them who are doing very fine in their areas of endeavor, but I can tell you, majority, really, the story is not something that is pleasing.
Let's speak to specifics, because we recall that we have seen young Nigerians in different areas of endeavors making a mark for themselves, and even in agriculture, which is one of the cardinal sectors that the government is looking towards. Are you saying that these people on their own, without any push from the government of the day, are lagging behind?
Yeah, like I said, there are very few that are doing very fine and who have received some help, and most of them are self-driven. And what you could recall, if you look at the nature of the educational system in this country, it is not such that gives you that air of self-confidence to go out into the labor market, go out to the marketplace and see yourself through. And so we have a situation in Nigeria where we have a generation that have hugely dependent on government, and they are doing so fine in terms of government patrimony. And then there comes another generation, you can call it millennials, and they find out that this generation did not have that kind of opportunity in terms of government offered the previous generation. But in terms of mindset, the mindset still is that one where everybody is thinking of getting the national cake, where everyone wants to work in public service, where everybody is looking up to government. And so far, government, in all fairness, have not done very fine. And so I think that without taking exception to the fact that we have a significant number of young people who are doing great in various endeavors, I can tell you, in comparison to those who are not really seeing themselves through, I don't think that government. Okay, let me take an example. The previous administration did a program, the scheme they called UWIN, and what happened to that UWIN today? In fact, if that UWIN is succeeding or not, who can say that authoritatively with statistics? Can you tell me that the number of people who gain from UWIN business scheme, how many of them are actually flourishing today? How many have packed up? How many? So everything boils down to the fact that, generally speaking, the unemployment situation in the country is one that I've said that is not majorly